This is Parkiet TV studio on the sidelines of the second 3C Stock Exchanges conference in Warsaw. I'm Grzegorz Siemionczyk and my guests are Mr. Davit Nahapetyan, member of the board of the Central Banks of Armenia, and Hayk Yeganyan, who is the CEO of the Armenian Stock Exchange, Armenia Securities Exchange. Sorry for that. Gentlemen, most of our audience are probably not familiar with how the Armenian stock market looks like. So could you please describe it briefly? How many companies are listed? Who are the investors trading on the stock market? Are these mainly foreign investors or maybe domestic ones, institutional or retail? So please describe it shortly.
Okay. Well, thank you for the invitation. This is a great opportunity for us also to elaborate more about Armenian capital market. Armenia Securities Exchange is the operator of the only stock exchange of Armenia, so it's the only stock exchange, and we also own the only securities depository of Armenia, which is the Central Depository of Armenia. So it's it's two vertically integrated companies, and we are the single platform for bonds and equities. So we are mainly for the fixed income products. So in our stock exchange, we conduct the primary auctions of the government bonds. So we service the Ministry of Finance for their bond allocations. Every month or twice a month, they have the bond issuance programs. So we have the government securities, we have the corporate government bonds, we have the corporate bonds in our stock exchange. We have more than 20 issuers in our of corporate bonds in our stock exchange, and the outstanding value of the corporate bonds is almost $1 billion US, and the outstanding value of the government bonds is over $2 billion. And unfortunately, we are not that developed as Warsaw Stock Exchange as per equity market. We have only 10 equities listed. Mm-hmm. In our stock exchange, and one of them was listed actually last year. Before that, we didn't have new listings for maybe around like 4 years. But the outstanding equities value is around like $450 million US.
What about trading volume and turnover? Is the market liquid?
The market is liquid for government bonds because the government bond auction is conducted through 7 primary dealers, which is selected by the Ministry of Finance. And every year, 2 of the dealers go out of the league, and then another 2 ones are coming in. And all the dealers are obliged to become market makers. Mm-hmm. So we have 7 market makers for the government bonds. For the reference bonds.
Sorry to interrupt you, but are these bonds dedicated to retail investors or institutional investors, or both?
Look, we as an exchange, usually the exchange's clients are the broker-dealers. Mm-hmm. So usually the exchange bonds itself providing service to the broker-dealers, and then the broker-dealers are supposed to provide service to the retail investors. So the retail investors can come through the broker-dealers and through the banks and access to our market. But from next year, we'll launch a new product, technological product, which will enable the broker-dealers to use our technology and provide a sponsored market access to our primary auctions and the secondary market.
Okay, so the investors will have a direct access?
Yeah, they will have a direct access through the brokers, but leveraging on our technology.
Okay, natural questions for you gentlemen is about the future of Iamx, that is the Armenian Securities Exchange. Just over a year ago, Warsaw Stock Exchange and the Central Bank of Armenia started negotiations concerning the acquisition of 65% of the Armenia Securities Exchange from the CBA. What is the current status of this deal?
We expect to finalize the deal until the end of this year, and this conference also a good opportunity to meet the officials of Warsaw Stock Exchange to negotiate the details of that deal. And we will have a meeting with CEO, and I hope that till the end of this year we will finalize the deal.
And what do you think will be the benefits for Armenia from this deal?
For us, the development of capital market is one of the highest priorities, not only for the central bank but also for the government of Armenia. And we adopted a strategy of capital market development. And we are happy to see that Armenian Stock Exchange, together with Warsaw Stock Exchange, EBRD, they also adopted a strategy of development of Armenian stock market, and there are more than 30 initiatives that we have to reach during the coming 5 years. And we hope that we will have a very good example of regional cooperation between our region and between the Central and European countries.
And have you spoken about selling your stake at AMX with other sites, except for the Polish Warsaw Stock Exchange?
We had some negotiations, but in detail, we had a negotiation only with Warsaw Stock Exchange.
Okay, so leaving this potential merger aside, what do you think is the scope for cooperation, for the regional cooperation between the stock markets in the Central Eastern Europe?
I think from one hand we are opening the market of Central and Eastern Europe for our business and for the business of Eurasian Economic Union. You know, we are the member of this economic union, and from other hand, Eurasian Economic Union can have an access to the European market. This is a very good opportunity.
Okay, and does AMX already has any ties to other foreign markets? Do you have, for instance, I don't know, like a dual listings, any kind of initiative which dealing with other stock exchanges?
As of today, we as a stock exchange operator, we don't have a bilateral agreement with any other exchanges, although there are certain countries which recognize a paper listed in AMX as an eligible paper to be listed in their home country's stock exchange without further prospectus requirements. And one example is the Moscow exchange, for example, where they have allowed our securities to go and be listed in their exchange without further prospectus approval in the host country. But we really look forward, and we hope that with this deal we'll have the first and this opening kind of ceremony for cross-listing and dual listing with GPW, Warsaw Stock Exchange, which will enable us to become a bridge, a regional bridge towards the Central and Eastern European capital. And we hope that many, even non-resident companies will come to AMX from the region to list in AMX just for the sake of also getting a dual listing or cross-listing or secondary listing to Warsaw Stock Exchange, because it will provide them a huge opportunity towards a huge capital pool.
And now by saying about the region, you mean the Central Asia?
First of all, we will start with a smaller region, which today was demonstrated, Caucasus, and we had the representatives of Georgian National Bank and the Georgian Stock Exchange. But I don't think we'll limit ourselves only with these two countries, and hopefully with the assistance of EBRD as well, we'll look towards the Central Asian region.
Okay, last question for you, gentlemen. How would you describe the biggest challenge to Armenian capital market in general these days?
Well, I would say, first of all, maybe some technological. We need a technological development. A. Secondly, we need legislative reforms because the world is changing quite fast, and stock exchanges have shifted from their conventional business and are entering to other new business industries. Yeah. And we need a very agile regulation and legislation to allow the stock exchanges to develop and to allow the capital markets to develop in general, and to allow small and medium companies to provide public offerings.
Okay, well, this was supposed to be the last question, but I have come up with another one, and this will be really the last one. How about the investors base in Armenia? Do you have a vibrant investors base, either institutional or retail? Are Armenian people interested in investing?
Generally speaking, Armenian people are well known for their entrepreneurial talent and skills. So they like opportunities, and we see that the capital market is a good entrepreneurial kind of investment opportunity to be explored in the near future by the Armenian investors, both the retail and the institutional. Thanks to the pension reform which started in 2014, now we have a huge pension savings in Armenia reaching almost 700 million USD, with two globally well-known pension fund managers operating in Armenia. So we already have a great institutional investor base, and we really hope and look forward that through this integration, adopting new technologies, implementing new technologies, and changing some legislation and regulations, we'll be also able to attract a retail base, not only in Armenia, but also from the Armenian diaspora globally.
Thank you very much for your answers. I will remind our audience that our guests were Mr. Davit Nahapetyan and Mr. Hayk Yeganyan from Armenia, from the Central Bank of Armenia, and from Armenian Securities Exchange. Thank you very much for your visit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.